Welcome back, YouTubers. It's the British Fist here, back with our 13th Q&A. And NJ, a lot of people consider 13 an unlucky number, but I consider it a lucky number because we've got some decent questions in this one, haven't we?
They're very decent questions.
As usual, but make sure you guys subscribe up above, of course. Like this video, keep your comments, keep your questions, coming in the comment section below and through YouTube inbox and through facebook.com/British Fist.
And you can find those links in the description box below.
Yes, and NJ, just can we do this? We are the British Fist.
Good shit.
And show the people out there the symbol that people need to use if they want to represent the British Fist. That's the one, NJ. Right then, so before I go on to this Q&A, I just want to say, if you guys are sending a question a while back, because we're putting these on a weekly basis and we get a lot of questions built up in our inbox, if your question comes a couple of weeks after from what you sent us, we apologise for that. We try and film them as quickly as we can, but because we're releasing it on a weekly basis, it's one of the reasons why people's questions might be out there a bit later than they expect. So keep being patient. Your questions will be answered in a matter of weeks, I imagine.
That's all true, yes.
Yes, so let's get on to this Q&A then, MJ. First question is from Mr. Trick One, formerly known as WWE Fan 23P, a regular question asker on our Q&As. He asked us 5 questions. He usually asks us more than one. The first question he said to us was, do you guys watch FCW, Florida Championship Wrestling? Do you watch it, NJ?
No, but when we've had these wrestlers joining the WWE and they're either from there or they've been involved there, you do want to check out their history and what they've done. So we do check their videos either on YouTube or other various websites.
I've seen various episodes of FCW and various matches of FCW on YouTube somewhere, and one of the reasons why I like it is, like you said, you get to see the stars, the future stars. At some point, like I've seen Alex Riley, Wade Barrett, Justin Gabriel in matches which you wouldn't see on WWE TV, and the matches are interesting to see on FCW TV, which is one of the reasons I watch it. And I actually think it's not a bad show. I think it's better than NXT. Put it that way.
True, a lot of shows are better than NXT.
Yes, very true. Even TNA. Joke. I'm only joking, people. Don't worry. But you just don't like TNA that much, do you?
Well, I don't like NXT, but yeah, let's just move on.
He also said, "What do you guys think about Zack Ryder being face?" To be honest, whether he's face or heel, we're still going to hate him. We don't like him.
Zack Ryder should have stayed with Kurt Hawkins, and with him being a face now, I'm just thinking he's trying to bring entertainment to wrestling, but I just don't like him.
Keep it on YouTube, Zack Ryder, just like we do. We don't go parading it on WWE TV. But anyway, the next question he asked us was, how would you guys book Drew McIntyre? Make him win some matches,
well,
maybe?
What I would have done is had him win a Money in the Bank, but now that's been moved away. I think, to be honest, if he starts winning matches, he could become a good mid-carder champion.
What I would do is I'd just have him to start off with squash, maybe a couple of squash matches every week, maybe give him a couple of wins. Eventually, get him to go after some sort of mid-card title after a while. I don't know, mid and number 1 contenders match. Doesn't have to win it, but you can get involved in some sort of mid-card rivalry. I don't know, just any other way of booking him that might get him on TV compared to what they're doing with him now. Pretty much.
Yeah, that's it.
Come up with your own custom match type. And Jay has our solution.
Again, as the matches are pretty much there, and much of them are either similar in some way, like you have like this hardcore matches which are turned into like no holds bars and all that. What I would do is just adapt the matches we've already got, like the cage match. The thing I'd have it is like you can't pin, give up, and that. You have to do it by escaping the cage, which I'd probably have the cage bigger because it looks too small and it's not that much good. So that's the only thing I would really do.
Yep, I don't really see any way you can make a new match type. I think it's all been done. So unless they make some sort of new elimination chamber or something, I don't really know. The last question he asked us was, have you ever thought about being WWE superstars? NJ, I'll go to you with you for this one first.
There's been time in WWE thinking, I wish I was there for that. I wish I was involved in that somehow. But actually getting into wrestling, nah.
No. I think the bumps, isn't it? It's mainly the bumps and the travelling, really, that put me off.
The travelling would be interesting, but the bumps, yeah, some of them you're like, cool, I'm glad that didn't happen to me in that.
Punk and Hardy doing the superplex off the top rope onto a ladder. From
you hear people breaking their legs, breaking their arm.
Breaking his fucking collarbone at Backlash 2009. The one last time 2008, sorry.
It's quite bad to go through that, but if we did go, I don't think it'd be a possibility.
No, not for me, because I see myself as a guy who would want to hold down a family, want to be there every day for the family, and I can't really stay away from people that often and travel. So for me, no. Even though it would be like a kind of sort of dream of mine if I ever sort of. I'm in shape. I've got muscles. I could probably be a jobber.
I've become a Spike Dudley.
Oh, Spike Dudley, awesome. The next question comes from CVOGH Stron 1. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong, but there's a lot of different vowels and consonants in there. So he asks us, or it might be a she, I don't know. Judging by the YouTube name, I really don't know. He said, who is or was your favourite masked wrestler? Kane doesn't count for NJ. Who's yours, judging from that list? I think asking that because they know you're going to say Kane.
Yeah,
any
but
others?
thanks for stopping me. I'm going to say the Long Conquistadors.
The Lost in Ese Rios. The Lost Conquistadors.
There we go, there's my answer. There you go.
They had a full mask on, they had the full fucking suit, didn't they?
Pretty good, yeah.
Jesus.
I thought the way they were, it was different, it was out there, and it was definitely something you're going to remember because of how they were dressed.
Them on commentary, oh my god, I'll never forget that. Who do you think's going to win the match? Ese Rios. He's not even in the match.
There we go then.
For me, it has to be Mankind. I've always liked the Mankind gimmick and the Mick Foley as a wrestler in general. For me, I'd have to say Mankind's probably my favourite masked wrestler. That's really it. Kane. The next question comes from TR3 The Kid 69. He said, if you had to pick 3 wrestlers from WWE and 3 wrestlers from TNA to be in an Elimination Chamber match, who would you pick? Should we start off with our 3 WWE wrestlers?
Yeah, we have the obvious one who needs to get back involved in main event sort of stuff, which is CM Punk.
And who else would we have? John Morrison?
John Morrison, yeah.
Just because he could make one good spot in the match. Really,
that's true. We need stuff like that so it's memorable. Yeah. And there's Wade Barrett.
Yeah, mainly Wade Barrett because he's a big guy and you think he would flourish in these Elimination Chamber matches, especially against the people that we got for going in for TNA as well. So that's never really make use of the fact that he is actually a very big guy and can go up against a small guy. I don't know. No,
it would be good to see, which would be good for this.
Like TNA wrestlers, I'll get the first one out the way, which is Bobby Roode, because that was the one which we wasn't, because we had 2, but the third one was a bit like, there was so many to choose from, but Bobby Roode would be in there.
We'd have Mr. Anderson.
Because he's awesome.
And he should be in main event.
Yep, and AJ Styles.
AJ Styles.
Just because, again, you know you're going to get that one spot from him and you know you're going to get a great match. So there's our 6 people. That would be an interesting Elimination Chamber match. Who would win it, do you think?
I'm thinking...
Punk.
Yeah. Punk would be a great one to win. Yeah, it would be good to get the other wrestlers pushed up, but I think Punk needs to have these special wins and special matches. Yep.
The next 2 questions come from, well, they're individual questions. The next question comes from Commentary Jordan 90. He asks me, your greatest Man United player of all time. Well, you've got me on a good subject there because I know my Man United history. You've got guys like, Bobby Charlton was a legend. You got, fucking hell. I've really fucked that one up there because I said I got good history and now I sound like I don't know anything. You got George Best, Dennis Law, guys like Roy Keane for me was a legend. Eric Cantona, David Beckham, even though he left.
So if you had to name your favourite overall legend, who would it be?
I think for me it's Roy Keane just because he was a big influence on me, but I think Bobby Charlton. In my opinion, just to be the biggest legend, just because he's got the most appearances behind Ryan Giggs. Ryan Giggs! No, actually, Ryan Giggs. I say Ryan Giggs. I've got so many, I can't decide! He also asks NJ, if you were a WWE superstar, what finisher would you use on Cena, and what weapon would you implicate in the move? Oh, God! We might be here for some time, ladies and gentlemen.
No. I've been thinking about this. There's loads of strong moves that could actually affect a lot of pain on Cena. There is a lot of moves.
All I can say is great question. Go on, carry on.
There's a lot of moves that could really hurt Cena, but I'm thinking, you said about a weapon usage. Well, I'll use a weapon first, which is probably a sledgehammer to the gut. Really get him there. So that he's bending down. Then I'll probably pedigree his head onto like the sledgehammer itself, onto a steel chair. To really knock him out flat. Yeah, well, there you go. Just a quick answer there from the top of my head. There you go.
Oh, God. That's might be one of the best answers we've had on the Q&A so far. How can we follow that up? Next question is from Chris Quintieros. I think that's the name. I think it sounds a bit Spanish to me, but I don't know. Where do you guys see Tyler X going in the WWE, guys? Do you see him becoming a champion anytime soon? Well, Tyler X... he got introduced in an elimination match, didn't he, with WWE and some of... I can't remember the match, but he was a surprise entrance in a match, and we thought he was going to do something, but now he's just not doing at all, is he?
So, the quick answer to you is, a champion anytime soon, no, and I don't think he's going to get any further now. I think he's got the ones that's probably could be used as a jobber
probably
when needed.
Who knows? Really not simple answer there, no. Is he going to get used? Probably not. The Squared Circle Show. says, asks a question from across the pond. Could Jinder Mahal and Vladimir Kozlov make an effective heel anti-America tag team? Your thoughts?
I think with Kozlov, when he was when he first came in, he had that thing when he thought, wow, this guy is actually dominant in that. Now he's kind of lost that. So I think if they somehow brought Vladimir back to the Russian, whatever his name was, I think they could make a tag team. But with Jinder now being involved with Kali,
I think that team would be better.
American
heel tag team, don't you? Just because they've got the Indian. You've already seen Jinder Mahal and Kali talking Indian over the mic. You've already seen that Jinder Mahal's got this angry, non-American characteristic going against Kali, who used to be doing kiss cams and kissing American girls. So, in my opinion, now probably be Jinder Mahal and Kali, but I'm not sure about Kozlov.
I think if they kept him as the Russian Brawler or whatever it was, yes, but not now.
All right, then. Next question comes from a fellow YouTuber by the name of Gavin Knotts. I'm guessing you're from Nottingham, but I know he's a British YouTuber. He basically says to us, the household names from the 80s and 90s that we know and love, if they didn't come out in the 80s and 90s and they came out today as new stars, which one do you think would stand out the most? According to ones which would stand out the most, for me, in the current era, you need guys that didn't really need the Attitude Era, and guys that were good wrestlers that can work a match. Guys like Shawn Michaels and Ric Flair were very good at adapting, which is why I think they were good. But we can't include them because they've already been in. So in my opinion, guys like Owen Hart, Mr. Perfect, some of those would come to mind. There's probably others that I can't really think of off the top of my head. But there are some people that we definitely wouldn't.
No, like again, Hogan is definitely the biggest one. And plus he's been involved in wrestling over the last couple of years. He's just not really there now. Then there'll be like The Rock and Austin because there's the Attitude Era stuff. So I think we've moved away from them now. So we need people like Dan's name.
Guys like Hogan and Ultimate Warrior just wouldn't fit in just because the style has moved on so much from then. I don't think they could really work a match in today's era. So, I don't know. Just a couple of thoughts there. Good question, though. The next question comes from The Black Rose 1991. The Black Rose 1991. James the Thunder Morehouse. He says, since WWE aren't going to put the Divas belt on Beth Phoenix, you never know, James. Do you think they should pull a China, and send her after the US or IC title to build up credibility? First of all, I would never like to pull China.
No.
What are you thinking on this, MJ?
Okay,
Probably not.
The thing is,
she could be Santino.
Well, yeah, but with Beth Phoenix, she's got the look that may remind you of China. There is the look about it. So I'm thinking, if she was to come into Continental Champ, it would kind of relive that, like the whole China thing. So it would be something different, but I can't really. No. I wouldn't want to see Beth Phoenix going up against, let's say, a Kofi Kingston, or let's say a Wade Barrett, or even Zeke. It would be really good. No,
I think the US and IC title need to be contested by guys that really need a push rather than divas, to be honest. And I don't know. I don't really want that to happen. Just because I want people that need to be pushed to be winning the IC title, so it's a stepping stone to the main event.
And it's also the fact that Beth Phoenix needs to relive herself in the divas business again. She needs to get herself more involved and look dominant there again. So I think not move her towards a male title. No.
Yep. He asked us another question. Since they're clearly not putting him in the main event anytime soon, do you think they should do an angle where Wade Barrett wins the US title and rechristens it as the European Championship to bring that back, if only for a limited period, to give him back the momentum he's lost in the last year? So Wade Barrett bringing back the European Championship?
No.
Why not?
The way I'm saying it is because I think Wade Barrett could quite simply, if he gets moved directly in matches, he does not need to go towards the US or the Intercontinental or anything like that. He could be moving towards the main events.
Yeah, I mean, to bring back the European Championship, when you have the IC title, I guess you still have two mid-card titles, but I never really considered the European Championship a mid-card title. It's more an undercard title, in my opinion. And for Wade, I think Wade Barrett needs to be higher than what he is now. Although it would give him momentum, I just don't see WWE bringing back anything like that. That would be interesting, like you said. Wade Barrett making a European Championship.
Well, I think he's a lot higher than that, so I'm saying no.
You'd have plenty of guys in that division, wouldn't you? Wade Barrett, Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, William Regal.
Yeah.
Four people.
They've all moved away from that now.
No, that's all the questions we've got for today, isn't it? 15 minutes of us talking about questions again. Make sure you keep sending your questions in the comment section below on facebook.com/BritishFist or in our YouTube inbox. And NJ, last words?
Keep your questions coming because we've enjoyed answering them. And if you keep coming more, we'll keep answering them.
Yes, make sure you look out for our next Q&A. And like I said before in the video, if your questions haven't been answered yet, we are in the process of answering them. We do pre-record these, so look out for your questions a couple of weeks or a month or so before when you ask them to the time we release the video. So that's really it for most of the British Fist.
Gotcha.
And NJ, can you just say the thing that makes you famous?
What's up?
Everyone loves that. But anyway, that's been it. I keep saying it. From me, Mr. Parkin, and NJ. No, go on, do it.
What's up?
I didn't really expect to give you that, but oh well. That's a great way to win the video on a bit of a surprise. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.